We are recording this because, Facebook, I don't know if y'all know this or not, Facebook started throwing some curveballs at us about how we go live and everything. And I did everything I was supposed to do. I watched that video like 49 times and it still says it's not happening. So we're going to record it. We're going to put it out on our Facebook page later today. And I guarantee you we will have this all figured out. So it is super good to see each and every single one of you this morning. Thank you for being on. We're going to start off the way we do every week, and that is somebody tell me something good. Tell me something good that's happened in your world this week, personally, in business. What's a win that you had? Come on now. Let's hear from you. Roxanne, you kick us off.
Good morning, Dusty. I had my property went live on the market on Friday. I had 8 showings and 4 offers.
Ooh, come on now. Hey, how many of you are seeing a little bit of that in your market? We're seeing it out here in Dallas. Okay. If you're in the real estate industry, you got a hot season right here in front of you, which is why we're talking about what we're talking about on the call today, which is action. So Roxanne, great job. Congratulations. Very good. Somebody else on the call. Come on, what's something good? Let's hear from you, Jackie.
So mine isn't real estate related. However, it is not directly related to a transaction. But this weekend here in Maryland, we do in the county what we call Christmas in April. And so this year I got to participate in that. But what was special about it was my daughter is a sheriff and she was the captain and the coordinator for the home that we did. And what was extra special was as everyone was just giving her accolades as to how well she had organized it, I was just smiling because since she was 3, she always was a grandma's girl. And my mother was everything community, everything service. I mean, she believed in helping the community, helping the neighbor. And to see that, it was just like seeing my mother in action. So it was beautiful.
Oh, that's super cool. Generational, right? Isn't that awesome, Jackie? It was so good to see you this week as well. I got the gift and honor to be out in Upper Marlboro, Maryland this last Thursday. And it was awesome. So, Kim, go ahead.
Okay, so I know I shared about how I had this garage sale that I had been preparing for months and months. Well, I've ended it up this last weekend and I made a grand total. My highest ticket item was $25. I made a grand total of $1,500. But what was more so special to me was at the end, we started kind of giving away things, right? Because we knew we were just going to have to load them up. And somebody who had come to my last weekend garage sale had come back and she brought some friends of hers. And one was from Ukraine and one was from Jerusalem. And when they realized that some of my stuff was free, I mean, talk about emotional. They were just so appreciative and saying how they were just going to pray for me and my household and all my friends and family and everything. And I mean, it brought tears to my eyes. And just to see how, I mean, they were just small things they were taking and they just could not have believed that I was giving them to them. And so that was just a super blessing to me.
Absolutely, Kim. Hey, I don't know if there's any greater gift than when we just give, right? You know what I mean? Like we just give, expect nothing in return, especially in the world that we live in today, the day and age that we live in today. You know how many people in your world are hurting right now and maybe you have no idea? Or people on your street or people, right? I mean, Kim, for you to do that and for people to come and get that level of a blessing from you, super awesome. Super awesome. Very cool. Thank you for sharing. Heather, how about you?
Mine's on a more personal level. My husband and I tried to instill church and God and faith into our little girls. And when he passed away 6 years ago, I completely cut off all of that. I still talk to my girls about God and faith and that he is there, but I stopped talking to him. And I was truly proud this weekend when my oldest, 13 years old, decided that she wanted to go to church and she wanted to have that connection with him again. And it brought tears to my eyes when she came back and she said, you know, Mama, when you're ready, he's there. So that just, it touched my heart.
Wow. Come on, man. Man, what we learn from our kids, right? Mm. Hey, great job leading well over there, Heather. Love you. Awesome. Maggie, how about you?
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I have allergies, so my voice is a little harsh. Nice to hear your voice again and see you guys. I live in New York, Hudson Valley. So I have a property in Ardsley, Westchester County. Every single challenge was there, every single possible challenge. And I kept. I'm a very big God believer, and opening the doors, and so I kept asking God to keep the door open because the seller was giving up on me, and the property was it's a 2-family house, but lots of issues. He kind of neglected the property, but he wanted a lot of money for the house. Anyway, so we finally found the buyer, and it's also on the flood zone to add in addition. So anyway, everything was against it. But anyway, we just had appraisal done, and I found the buyers that it's full cash offer, so they don't need to have a flood insurance, and everything goes great. They should sign the contract by Wednesday. So
Wow, congratulations. Hey,
thank you.
The tough ones are tough, but man, that closing table's awesome when you finally get there, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Celebrate that one, Maggie. Celebrate
Yes.
that one. Okay. Gretchen, good to see you. Go for it.
Good to see you too. So last week was absolutely one of the most incredible, phenomenal weeks. We had the third conference for the Faithful Agent here in Greensboro. And it was awesome to see God show up and how he just moved. We had 105 agents from 14 different states. The furthest came from Canada. And it was just incredible to see agents commit their business and their life to the Lord.
Yeah.
And it was an incredible 72 hours. And I was just so blessed to be the site host for it and so thankful for that. And I just look forward to seeing the Faithful Agent grow.
Yeah.
And we're also launching a chapter here in the Triad. So it's going to be a Greensboro-based Faithful Agent.
Very cool.
So yeah. So it's incredible. If you don't know anything about it,
Yeah.
Google Faithful Agent, look it up on Facebook. It's incredible. It's Christian-based real estate agents doing their business with excellence, serving and honoring the Lord with that.
Yeah, very cool. I got to speak at the one. That's how you and I,
Yes.
Gretchen, I got to speak out in the Virginia area. I did not get to speak at this one, but I will be at the next one. And super cool, just the communities of people, man, that are coming together. So very awesome, very cool.
It's awesome. Yes.
Amanda Boudreau, how about you?
Okay, there we go. I had a great week last week. I was in Nashville for a conference and just came back with a lot of inspiration for my business. I've been super busy. And this Wednesday, I get to be on a call with you.
Yeah,
And my daughter also wanted to say that I don't know that this is like a blessing, but she is apparently excited about it, that she has LEAP testing this week, but she's already got out the car. I just dropped her off at school. But I don't know what kid is like excited about taking the LEAP test, but she is. So
that's what I'm talking about. Get excited about tests. Hey, and you guys, I want to make sure you know every Wednesday, and we've started this about 3 weeks ago. We've started an additional free call for you. It's for everybody. It's every Wednesday at 12:30 Central. It's called Defining Moments. And what we're doing is we're interviewing top agents all across the country, thought leaders, authors of just, hey, how did you get where you got? And they talk through, like, one of the things I think we forget when we see people succeeding is that there were a lot of days maybe that they didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're like, oh man, they must have just, right? No, like there's a process to this, and there's pain involved, and there's commitment and perseverance and faithfulness. And so be on the call this Wednesday, because I want you to hear Amanda Boudreau and the defining moments that have led her to where she is and how she continues to create those. So don't miss it. It's recorded every week as well. If you haven't watched the one that we had this last week with Kevin Cannon Get on there and watch it. It will absolutely stir your soul. Okay. I'm telling you, get on there and watch it. All right. It's going to give you massive perspective to frame your day and to frame your week and to frame this month. Okay. Because each and every single one of us every day, right, are making generational choices. One of the things that I've learned from Kevin Cannon, and I'll share it with you, and then we're going to go into our kind of our journal time here as we journal, is one thing that he has taught me is that someday is not on the calendar. Okay. Someday is not on the calendar, that we've got to take advantage of the opportunities that we have. What's in your heart, what's in your spirit, those things you want to go after. We want to make sure that we understand someday's not on the calendar. So go get it today. Okay. Today's all about action. We're going to take a few minutes right now and make sure that we get some journal time in. So pull your journal out. Make sure you write down today 5 things that you are grateful for. Make sure you write down 5 people you are grateful for. Make sure one of your calls today is to those people to tell them that you're thankful for them, and be specific as to why you're thankful for them. I want you to write down 5 I am statements. And then I want you to do this during this time. I want you to write down an action you've been taking that you need to stop. Yeah. Anybody got some of those? You're welcome. We're off to a good start. And then I want you to write down an action you're not taking that you know you need to start. Okay, you tracking with me on this? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Let's take a few minutes. We'll journal, and then we'll circle back up together. Here we go. Let's do a little bit of this. How about this? 5 people you're grateful for, 5 things that you're grateful for, 5 I am statements. And then how about your action? What's an action maybe that we need to stop doing today? What's an action maybe today that we need to start doing today? All right. Someday's not on the calendar. Here's what we know. One of my favorite quotes is this. It says, you and I choose who we will be. We choose what we will do, and we become the sum of our choices. All right. I want you to write that down today. You and I choose who we will be. Okay, everybody hear me. No one defines you other than you. Correct? Okay. Now, people will attempt to define you. All right. But you're the one who makes the choices that you make in order to define you. Okay. The other thing is, no one defines your actions other than you. Okay. No one defines your actions other than you. If you find yourself saying, well, I did this because so-and-so did this, that's allowing them to define your action. All right. We got to take responsibility for our own action. So what we're talking about on the call today is action. Last week, we talked about words, right? You guys remember this? We talked about the importance of our words and how our words, what goes in us is what comes out of us. Today, we're talking about that words are not enough. You tracking with me on this? Okay. I believe we spend too much time talking about what we're going to do instead of actually doing what we said we would do. Okay, you with me? Right? We spend a lot of time talking about what we're going to do, especially all my real estate people. Come on, man. Y'all out there spending like 3 weeks talking about what you're going to do. Stop talking about what you're going to do and go do what needs to be done. Okay? But before we talk about what actions we're going to take, I think we need to pause for a minute and talk about maybe some actions we need to stop taking. Okay? So I'm going to give you a few and see if these resonate with you, all right? Here's the first one. We got to stop. We got to stop making excuses. There you go. That's an action. When you make excuses, that is an action that is not going to lead you where you want to go. What does the quote say? You and I choose who we will be. We choose what we will do. We become the sum of our choices. If you are a person who continues to choose to take the action of excuses, okay, I can promise you it's not going to go well for you. All right. So we got to take the action of stop making excuses. Okay. Here's another one. You ready? How about stop procrastinating? Ooh. Ooh, boy. There you go. Some of you feeling that this morning. Yeah. How about we stop waiting to do tomorrow what we can just do today. Do you know how many things you're going to accomplish today if you just go, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and knock that out, right? We have, as I'm teaching my children in my home, we have this rule, which is take 5 more seconds. Okay, just take 5 more seconds. And we also have a saying, and I'm going to make sure it's nailed into them, that you can either do it right or you can do it again. Okay, those are the options. Those are the options. You can either do it right or you can do it again. Okay, you can either do it now or it'll be more painful later. Okay, so we got to stop making excuses. We got to stop procrastinating. Okay, we got to stop doing things that don't benefit us. You with me? Like, we got to stop doing things that don't benefit us. Okay, now you guys can fill in the blank there on the number of things that we should stop doing, correct? Anybody else have some stops out there? Something you know you need to stop? Anybody? Let's hear from 1 or 2 of you, or drop them in the chat box. What's something you know you need to stop? And don't be afraid of it, because I guarantee you there's somebody else on the screen that needs to stop the same thing. Kristen, what do you got?
I need to stop allowing others' actions or words to dictate how I feel about myself and what I do.
There you go. Write that down. I need to stop allowing other people's actions or words or whatever it is dictate, right, who we are. Right, Kristen? Okay. What else we got? Rhett, how about you, buddy?
Yeah, good morning, Dusty. I'm sure that me and you will be talking more about this later, but 2 different things. And I've already shut my journal, so I'm going to do the best I can to remember how I phrased it. But basically, the success list that I do every day has served me very, very well for a very long time. But one thing that I've discovered is what's easy to do is easy not to do.
Mm-hmm.
So today I'm creating a better commitment of setting the time at 6 p.m. each day. It'll be the follow-up to that of what I have or have not done. But I'm learning, if there's not a set time that that's when it's supposed to be executed, you'll take it for granted and not do it. And then 2, in regards to the gym and working out, I'm pretty consistent there, but I'm trying to do it more and more at home. So now I'm going to establish that to be at 5, and then I'll do the follow-up of the success list at 6. So it's maybe a unique way of saying I need to stop doing something, but I think it's going to make a big impact. Thanks.
Right. That's right. Well said, Rhett. Well said. Ryan Holmes said, need to stop letting people who wear me out live rent-free in my space. Come on, man. That's what I'm talking about, Holmes. Write that down. How many of you got some people living rent-free? Okay, there we go. Ashley Hart, how about you this morning?
I need to stop waiting for a different situation before I do XYZ, whatever the thing is.
There you go. Well said, Ashley. Stop waiting on, hey, when this happens, then I'll do this, right? Hey, when this gets, I'm going to make sure this is exactly how it's supposed to be. Then, yep, this is the situation we have, right? This is the hand I've been dealt. Doesn't mean I like it. Doesn't mean it's fair. Okay. It just is, right? And so what do we need to do in the middle of it? Amanda, how about you?
So for me, I needed to, and still do, stop thinking that I'm not enough to be as big as I can be or want to be. The other thing is 2 other things. One, what Ryan said, and then 2, I needed to, and still need to, stop looking at what everyone else is doing in my industry. So I unfollowed everyone because it was getting in my head, like, oh, well, this person is, she has 20 listings right now, and it was making me feel like crap about myself. And so I just unfollowed it all, and I'm just kind of in my own bubble.
Look at that. Hey, that's part of that kind of ties what Ryan said, right? Amanda recognized, hey, I'm letting this get in, and so I'm going to remove it, right? How many of you, the action you need to take is to stop letting these things live rent-free and start removing? You tracking with me on this? Okay. All different types of actions. Okay. There's things we've got to stop doing. There's things we've got to start doing. Here's the first thing I want you to write down as well today. I want you to write down that inaction is action. Okay. Me not taking action is an action. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. That's a choice that you make, right? That quote says you and I become what? The sum of our choices. So if you and I choose to not take the action that I know I need to take, right? That inaction is an action. And we got to be aware of that, okay? I'm going to give you today 4 actions that you could take regardless of your industry, regardless of what's going on in your world. 4 actions that you can take. All 4 of them are going to give you a result. I guarantee you're taking one of them right now already today, all right? Or you've been taking one. I want you to identify which one, but I'm going to plead with you to take the 4th one before we get off the call today, okay? You ready? All right, I want you to write down this question because I think the answer to this question is vitally important. All right, here's the question. What level of action is required? Write that down. What level of action is required for me to achieve what I desire? What level of action is required for me to achieve what I desire? I'm talking about what you desire in your heart, what you desire in your mind, like what Amanda just did there. Hey, I took a level of action to change the way that I'm thinking. You guys tracking with me on this? That's what she did. She removed, okay? That's an action that she knew when I do this, I will think differently. What level of action in your relationships do you need to take? You with me? What level of action in your spirit do you need to take, like Gretchen talked about earlier? Okay. And then how about on your business front? Hey, can I tell you something? Nothing changes till something moves, team. Okay. Like we got to stop sitting around hoping. Okay. Hope is not a strategy. It's not going to go well for you. Okay. I don't hope that I'm successful. I'm going to have the mindset, the skill set, and then take the level of action required in order for me to hit the goals that I desire. All right. So my question to you is, what level of action is required for you to achieve what it is you desire in every single part of your life and in every single part of your business? I'm going to give you 4 of them. I guarantee you're taking at least one of them. Okay. Here's the first one. I want you to write it down. This is what you could do. You ready? Here's the first one. It's brilliant. You ready? You could do nothing. Yeah. Yep. That's it. You could just do nothing. You could just keep doing what you've always done. Turn a blind eye to everything that's happening. Hey, real estate agents out there, you don't have to do anything. Did you know that? Like you don't even have a boss. You just do what you want to. Okay. And a lot of agents do this brilliant thing called nothing. All right. Here's what I can tell you. If you do nothing, your result will be in alignment with that. Okay. Your result will be in alignment with that. What I see a lot of people do is they start to get success. They get busy and then they start doing nothing. The things that led them to the business and the opportunities, they stop doing because they get so busy up here. You with me? So you could do nothing. Inaction is action. Okay. All right. Turning a blind eye to something and pretending that it's not there. It's an action. You with me? Hey, maybe your finances are a mess today and you haven't looked at them. You don't want to look at them. So you just turned a blind eye to it. Okay. That's an action. That's doing nothing. You're not going to get out of that hole if you don't dig into it. Okay. It doesn't work that way. You with me? Okay. Maybe you've got some things in your relationships that are out of alignment and out of order and you've lost rhythm. Turning a blind eye to it isn't going to solve that. Okay. It won't just take care of itself. You tracking with me on this? Okay. I don't know if everybody knows this, but relationships work like this. I got to work and you got to work. Okay. Like that's the way it happens. All right. We both got to go to work here. Doing nothing is not going to take you to where you desire. Would everybody agree with that? Okay. I want you to pause for a second right now, and I want you to write down an area in your life or in your business where you have been choosing to do nothing or turn a blind eye to it. I want you to be real honest with yourself. Hey, maybe it's your health. Tracking with me? Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your heart. Maybe you're so afraid of being hurt that you just don't want to do anything. Tracking with me on this? I want you to write down somewhere right now. I guarantee you, every one of us on this screen, we got something that we've turned a blind eye to or we're choosing to do nothing about. And I want you to be honest with yourself. I want you to put it on paper and look at it. Okay? And I want you to hold it. All right? Because I'm going to tell you a little bit what we're going to do with it. Now, here's the second action you could take. You guys ready? You could retreat. Somebody tell me, why do you think we retreat? Anybody? Where does retreating come from? Amber, you nailed it. It comes from fear. We back up because we get afraid. Okay? And can I tell you that most of the time we're afraid of a possible negative experience? Right? We don't even know it's going to be negative, but I'm so afraid of it. Hey, no, coach, you weren't around. This happened before. It can happen again. And so I'm not going to put myself into that space, right? Cousin Sherry, exactly right. Fear, we either fight or flight. Anybody? I mean, hey, I'm gonna get out of here. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to have anything to do with this. So I'm just going to leave. Okay? Or I'm going to bow up and fight. Are you with me? Okay, so we could retreat. Hey, if you're in the real estate industry, can I tell you something? 200,000 plus agents have already retreated. Over 200,000. National Association of Realtors tells us it actually has a prediction of about 400,000 total. Afraid, right? Hey, do you guys remember being little? And maybe I should say younger because I'm still little. All right. You remember being younger? When you were younger, right? And you would get so afraid that it would cause you to freeze. Do you remember this? Like I remember laying in my bed at night and just knowing someone was in my closet. All right. Even though my dad had turned the light on and showed me nobody was in there. I'm telling you, when those lights went off, I saw somebody in that closet. And it would make me so scared that I would just freeze. Have you ever done this? Okay. Can I tell you something? You do it as an adult too. It's not the monster in the closet. You with me? It's, hey, I failed and I'm afraid to start again. I don't want to do it. What if I fail again? Right? You with me? Hey, I'll just go do something completely different because I wasn't successful over here. I'm afraid to do it. Maybe it's a relationship. Afraid. Okay? You with me on this? Maybe you don't know what to say. Maybe you don't know how to do it. And so we get afraid of actually doing it. And then here's what happens when you get afraid. You go back to number one, which is we do nothing. Okay? I want you to write down something right now today. I want you to write now an action you have not taken because you are afraid. Be honest with yourself. Everybody write it down. Honesty is the fertile soil where I grow. Okay? Hey, and everybody hear me. There is nothing wrong with fear. You tracking with me? Fear is normal. It's a natural human emotion. Okay? That does not mean that I have to choose fear, though. You with me? Remember this. We don't always get to choose our first thought. I do get to choose my second one. I may get frozen in fear, but I can get unfrozen. I like that, Kristen. Kristen wrote, excuses are the nails to building a house of failure. Woohoo! That's good, right? How many excuses do we make when we get afraid? You with me? I want you to write down at least one thing, one action that you have not taken because you're afraid to take it. Okay? I want you to hold that action. Okay? So just hold it over here because I'm about to tell you what to do with it. All right? Now, if you're not doing nothing and you're not operating out of fear, I would say by and large, the people on the screen and the people listening on Facebook are doing number 3. Okay. I've coached over 50,000 people in the last 6 years. And can I tell you what I see most of them do? I see most of them take the 3rd level of action. You ready? I want you to write it down. They take normal levels of action. Write down a couple words next to that. Write down the word average. And write down the word standard. Average and standard. How many of you got up this morning and you wrote in your journal, I just can't wait to be average. This is it. Gretchen said, no, I didn't say that one, right? How many of you said, oh, just average, that's my jam. I just want to be average. You know, can I just be average? You didn't write that down. Okay, you didn't post on Facebook, excited about my average day, right? You don't put that stuff out on Facebook, right? I mean, you put things out like, it's Monday, I'm going to slay it. And then you walk out and you choose to be average. That's not what you put on Facebook. But that's what we choose to do. Yeah, great word, cousin Sherry, mediocrity. Anybody want a mediocre marriage? Wouldn't that be awesome? How about some mediocre kids? Right? Can I tell you something about the Oglesby kids? This little brother and sister are not mediocre. We don't do mediocre. All right? Okay? How about standard? How about the word standard? Do you know what I think when I hear the word standard? I think I can go anywhere else and get the same thing, if not better. It's just standard. You with me? Can I tell you one of the biggest problems in our world today is we got a lot of people perfectly okay with being average and standard. Can I tell you that I spent the early part of my adult life being totally okay with that? Just doing enough to get by. You with me? Just doing enough to get by. Ryan Holmes said, par is good on the golf course, but not in life. Right? Okay. Like, I don't want par. Right? So my question is, are you choosing to take normal levels of action? Do you know what average people do? They surround themselves with other average people so they feel better about being average. Can I tell you one of the actions you need to take today? Get yourself in a different room. Get around people that are going to call you out and call you up. Tracking with me on this? I believe by and large, we will rise to the level of the people around us. And a lot of you just totally cool hanging out with average. All right. One of the best decisions I ever made in my life is about 10 years ago. I just changed my rooms, man. I changed my people because I looked up and was like, man, I'm just living average. I don't want average. I don't want an average marriage. I don't want average relationships. I don't want an average business. I don't want to make average money. That's not what I want. You guys tracking with me on this? Let me tell you this. This right here, normal levels of action, it is the most dangerous level of action you can possibly take. It's more dangerous than retreating and doing nothing. Here's why. Okay? Because it's the most accepted. You with me? Hey, you don't have to look far to find people that are okay being just okay. You don't have to look far at all. You with me? In our society, it is the most accepted level of action. Okay? How many of you got up this morning and thought, just want to do enough to get by? Just surviving. Okay? All right. Now, 4th level of action. You ready? I want you to remember my little 14-year-old Matthew McConaughey voice for the rest of your life when I say this, okay? Okay. Here it is. Put it in capital letters. Take massive, defined action. Take massive, defined action. Okay? Now, I put the word defined in there because I think a lot of times we start taking massive action and we don't even know why. Right? That's just activity for activity's sake. Are you tracking with me on this? That's not what I'm saying. I don't want you to just go do activity for activity's sake. I want you to have defined activities that you know when I take massive action around this activity, my world blows up. When I take massive action around this activity, my relationships get in order. Okay? When I take massive action around this defined activity, my spirit gets in alignment. All right? We start operating like that, and you start getting the results that you want. Okay? Big results require massive action. You tracking with me on this? So I want you today to define. This is why I asked you to write down what's an area that you're doing nothing and you know it and you need to fix it. That's a defined action you need to take today. You with me? I'm talking like in the next 24 hours, you need to do something to move that thing forward. All right? That thing that you wrote down that you're afraid of, you're locked down and isolated in your fear. I want you to take that one. Okay. We got a saying in the Oglesby house. It's called feel the fear and do it anyway. Okay. Because on the other side of that fear is where everything you want is. Okay. The fear is what's keeping you from it. So you got to take a defined action to step into that fear. All right. If you find yourself just taking normal levels of action, I want you to write them down and ask the question, how do I turn this around and take defined massive action around this? How do I stop just being normal? Okay. Let me tell you something. The day the Lord calls me out, I don't want people to go, man, he lived a good, normal life. Like, that is not what I'm going for. All right. We coach in the Define Room that you and I all were called to live a life of defined distinction. Okay? Okay, so all of us, we have two things in common. We all have a life. We're all going to leave a legacy. My question is, what's it going to look like for you? Your life's going to leave a mark. Is it going to be a mark defined by massive action and massive results? Or is it just going to be a mark? It's going to leave a mark. Okay? How about your legacy? Okay? You're like all of you, every one of us on this call, we're going to leave one. My question is, what does yours look like? When I think of the word distinction, okay, what do you think when you hear the word distinction? What comes to your head? No wrong answer. Anybody? What's distinction?
Set apart.
Set apart. I love that. What else? Unique. I love that. Level of greatness. There we go. Stands out. There you go. Here's what I think. Eric, that's exactly the way that I put it. I think different. Different. Okay. When you take massive defined action, you will be different. Do you know why? Because people don't do it. They don't take massive defined action. Most people, you line 100 up, 98, 99, just doing normal, just being standard. Okay. Being mediocre. Let me ask you a question today. What does it look like in your business to take massive defined action? And how much further will you go in your business when you do? Okay. How about your life? What would it look like for you to take massive defined action within inside the four walls of your home? What would it look like for you to go home today and go, hey, you know what? We're changing the game. Did you know you can do that? Kevin Cannon, this week, he talked about it. He said, we don't have time to waste. We got to start right now. Do you know how you start taking massive defined action? You start right now. You already wrote them down. You already wrote down what you're not doing. You already wrote down what you're afraid of. Okay. We got to take massive action. Here's what I want you to know about massive defined action. Okay. Here's what it is. It is actually the most natural human action that we have. Did you know that? Here's how I know that. I have two beautiful 11-year-olds on the other side of my door. Okay, named Katie and Grayson. We call them Scooby and Dooby. Okay. Can I tell you what they've done from the day they took their first breath? They take massive action. Okay. Like they don't turn off. They don't stop. Because they're kids, man. It's not in their DNA. Can I tell you two things about kids that I know for a fact? Number one, they don't take no for an answer. Every night we hang out, we kind of watch TV together. It's kind of our time together. And I say, all right, guys, it's time to go. And they go, can we have one more minute? And I'm like, what's one more minute going to do for you? And they're like, Dad, we just want one more minute. And I give it to them, right? They don't take no. I'm like, no, we're not going to do it. They're like, come on, Dad, it's 1 minute, right? They don't take no for an answer. Okay. Can I tell you what else kids do? They're amazing at this. They get what they want. Have you noticed that? And it's because they will not stop. Okay. Here's how it's always looked in the Oglesby house. When I walk outside my door right here, okay, my son will meet me here. All right. And I've taught this little brother real well. He'll meet me right here and he'll go, Dad, there's this new Ninjago Lego, Dad. It's the coolest Lego that's ever been made. Okay. And he said, we got to go get it. And I look at him. Okay. I'm not going to be outscripted by an 11-year-old. And I'm like, hey, brother, you got like 900 Legos in your room. You don't need another one. Okay. Go play with those. All right. I love you. All right. And can I tell you what he does? He doesn't listen. He does not take no for an answer. He goes, no, Dad, listen. I got $50 and you got $50. We can put our money together and go buy the Lego. Okay, now time out, Defined Family. When did a Lego become $100? That's absurd. Okay? There's something crazy wrong on our planet when that's happening. Secondly, can I tell you that his $50 that he's offering to me is my $50 already? I gave it to him. Okay, it's not like the brother's got a job. Okay, he's feeding my dog in my house, making my bed that I bought him. I gave him the 50. So I'm like, hey, little brother, I'm proud of you. Fist bump, knuckles, good job negotiating. The answer is no. Okay, and I'll walk away. Okay, can I tell you what he does? He follows me. He's not done. But why? Because he hadn't got what he wants. So he comes to me and he's like, no, Dad, listen. He knows logic makes you think and emotion makes you act. So he goes to my heart and he's like, Dad, let's go get the Lego together. And then on Saturday, right, when you're not out helping people and working so hard and everything, we can sit down and put the Lego together. Yeah. Are you kidding me? That's what that little brother does. And do you know what I do? You can bring all your parental judgment at me. I look at him and I go, that was good. Let's go get the Lego. That was good. Let's go. Come on. Let's go get the Lego. We go get the Lego. That's what we do. Okay. So here's my point before we get off. When did you stop going after what you want? And when did you start taking no for an answer? Hey, all my real estate people, can I tell you what the next 12 to 24 months are going to look like? There's going to be more no's than yeses. If you take no for an answer, you're going to lose. Okay? This is the way it works. Like, we have to take massive action. If your life is not where you want it today, stop complaining about it and start taking massive action. And here's the way you do it. Do one thing. Look at your spiritual life and go, what's one thing I can do today that's a massive action? And can I tell you that massive action sometimes is really small? Like it's just taking one step forward, okay? That's a huge step. You tracking with me on this? All right? That we take one step forward. How about your heart? How about your mind? Okay? How about your body? Like what's one thing you can do for your body today? Massive action, okay? You're going to hear this with Amanda on Wednesday. She's going to tell you one thing she did that she took massive action and got consistent on, and it radically changed her. Okay? That's what we've got to do. You with me? I want you to go back to thinking like you thought when you were a kid and stop letting, let me tell you what happened. Somewhere between the time you were a kid and whatever age you are today, somebody took their limiting belief, they put it on you and you adopted it. They told you you couldn't. They said nobody in our family ever has. They said the market won't allow it. You don't have a college degree. You name it. Okay? And you adopted it. All right? Today I want you to take massive action. You with me? Everybody hear me. Massive defined action. What's something that you're not doing today that you've turned a blind eye to? Go do that. What's something that you've been afraid of? Go do that. What's something you've just been doing at a massive level of mediocrity and you need to take it to a completely another level? Go do that. Okay? In every aspect of your life and every aspect of your business. This help you today? We got a few minutes. Let's hear from some of you. What's something you wrote down? What's something you wrote down you're going to take with you? Felicia, can you put us back on where I can see everybody? I don't know how you do that, but if you can do that. Oh, thank you. That's awesome. What's something you wrote down today? Something you're taking with you? Because I can do this all over again. Maybe it's the one action you're going to take today that you haven't taken. Let's hear from you. I assume you're all just writing down your actions, and that's why nobody's saying anything. Like, I know Rhett will say something. Rhett, what do you got?
Well, I always want to give everybody else the opportunity to share too. There's a few different things I wrote down. I said that the sad thing about a standard mentality is it's a place you know you can get, but you shouldn't stay. So don't.
Woo! Write that
Two
down.
is this is something I wrote about the other day that impacted me greatly. But it resonates with what you discussed today. But I wrote, when we do not take massive actions in pursuing our dreams, we encourage others that we love to do the same.
That's right.
And then lastly, we already know that there's more negatives than positives in everything that we do, but the yes or positives that are ours for the taking if massive action is taken will be more than enough for the success that we seek. Thanks, Dustin.
Thank you, brother. I love hearing Rhett's insights, man. Put those things down. Anybody else today? What's something you came up with?
I loved what you said about someday is not on the calendar. And I've gotten a lot more, but that one is just like still stuck in my head when you said it. Someday is not on the calendar. Someday, one day,
Yeah.
it's not there. Like I can literally visualize like opening up a book and being like, oh, well, it's not here. So
That's right. Yeah.
you need to set those goals and put a limit on it, a time limit, set up a time frame.
That's right. That's right, Amanda. Hey, goals are dreams with a deadline. Okay. Stop talking about someday I'm going to go do this. All right. Like, go do it. Go do it. Create the opportunity, create the space, go do it. Somebody else? Anybody else? Let's see. We got some typed over here. Kim wrote, a lot to digest. I don't want to be average. Kim, I know you. You're not. You're not. Keep living that way. Natalie said, a message I needed to hear. I've been living in fear of meeting new people and being vulnerable. Writing thank you cards today to send off and currently at the gym because I've been slacking. There we go. That's taking massive action. Take one step. Okay. Gretchen, how about you?
There were quite a few takeaways. Again, I thought someday is not on the calendar. That was very, very powerful. Non-action is action.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. If you really think about non-action is action.
That's right.
And then also surround yourself with people who are going to call you out and call you up. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
To surround yourself with people who are going to give you that space to grow and encourage you. And then I wrote down my biggest takeaway is define distinction for the Lord Jesus Christ is the legacy that I want to leave.
There you
Define distinction for the Lord Jesus Christ. So, yeah, great call today.
That's right. Where people look at you and go, man, they're different. And I want to know why. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Felicia, finish us out. What do you got?
Yep. My big takeaway was during my journal time, and I was writing my I am statements. And Dusty, you know where I am in life, and my I am statement for today is I am a visionary.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the first step that we have to get to when we're talking about taking massive action. If we have to tell ourselves what we are and who we are,
That's right.
so that when we go out there and do the massive action, we're backing it up with what how we're talking to ourselves, which is what we talked about last week. So
That's exactly right. Hey, and Felicia, you've had people tell you before that you're not a visionary, right?
yes, sir.
Hey, guess what? Felicia's a visionary. Everybody tracking with me? Would you guys all agree with that? Would you make sure you nod your head? Yes, that's what she is, to reaffirm what she wrote down this morning. Okay. And so are you. Other people don't get to put their limiting beliefs on you. All right. You're a visionary. All right. I love you. Let's go. Take massive action today. Take care. We'll see you next week. Actually, we'll see you on Wednesday. Get on here Wednesday at 12:30. Amanda's going to talk to you about what massive action looks like and the results you get because of it. Take care, team. We'll see you. Bye-bye.